the banks of the River Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine. It's a place I love best, 'cause it's better than the rest. Take me home to the banks of the River Tyne. There's lights that burn so brightly, in the northeast sky they shine. From a place that Geordies worship, where legends wear number 9. You can travel right round the world, even meet the Pope in Rome. But nothing beats the feeling of when you come back here to home. No matter how life changes, we'll never be far apart. The northeast always home, and it's always in your heart. Take me home to the banks of the River Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine.
Good evening, people. Welcome to It's All Black and White TV. And yes, it's Newcastle United, the road to Wembley. I'm joined tonight by Pete and by John. How are you guys? All right?
Yes, very well.
Evening.
Thanks, Tony.
Very well. Thanks, Tony and Pete. How are we doing, guys? You good?
All good.
Yeah, all good, mate. All good.
Cool.
But before we get into any comments and things like that, guys, if you like what you see, then please hit the like button. It really does help the channel up the search results. So smash those likes. Thank you very much indeed. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, then please hit the subscribe button. It is free to do so. Helps the channel grow. And bell notification tells you when I'm live, have a pre-record, or any upcoming shows as well, guys. I'm currently at 345 subscribers, so now only 5 away from 350 and 55 away from 400. Thank you to each and everyone who has subscribed so far. And get your friends told and tell them to come on and watch some great content on here. So there we go, guys. I'm going to get to some comments first, because the comments are flying in. And then, before we start the comments, I've got something which might sort of a little bit of controversy. I'm not meaning to do it on purpose, guys, but it might split a lot of opinions, what I've got to say. But I'm not the only one in agreement. On our WhatsApp group, there's a few people in agreement as well. So, but we'll get into that in a moment. I'll keep you in suspense for a little bit longer. Davey says, good evening. Good evening to you as well, Davey. Hope you're well. Leslie says, evening all. Good evening to you, Leslie.
Hey.
Dave and Leslie talking to each other there. Scroll down a bit. So they're having a good type all the tunes, says Leslie. Haha, Rooney. Davey says, booked flight and hotel, and then to bet it's going to be expensive now. I would imagine so. Davey's saying, just found your chance. I can watch you singing. That must be to Leslie. Yeah, to Leslie's channel. Absolutely. There is Leslie's. I think she's got a link up there for our channel. Davey has. There we go. So if you want to follow Leslie and watch her singing, then get on there and watch the singing going on. Andrew says, yeah, right. We're all right, Andrew. Absolutely, mate. Davey says you suffered a few videos. Davey talked to Andrew. The football show. Evening, everyone. Evening to you as well at the football show. Thank you for joining in. If you're new to the channel, then please hit that subscribe, mate. Thank you very much. It's Mason, by the way, starting a new channel. Oh, well done, mate. Well done.
We got Mason. Good luck, my guy.
Yeah, if you want any tips, mate, any help, just ask us straight. We'll help you out. No problem, mate. So give us a shout. And people are saying cool to Mason. Congrats to Mason. Yeah, absolutely. Davey's subscribed. I'll subscribe after this show as well, Mason. Sure. And I'm sure the other two will follow suit as well, because we all support each other. At the end of the day, we're united as one. Andrew says, I fought my eyelids all day. Oh, tired, Andrew, are we? John's in the chat. Hi, chaps. Hi, John. Hope you're well.
Big up my guy.
Trolls, evening Tony, John and PD. Evening Trolls, hope you're well. I think we've got every... And Davey says, evening John, Tony and Trolls. Evening Davey, hope you're canny, mate. And he says, sorry, hi Pete. Says Davey. Stephen Missy, good afternoon from Detroit. Good evening from the UK. But yeah, nice place to be in it. Wayne says, evening Tony, PD, Proud Luck and John and all. Evening to you, Wayne, I hope you're well.
Forgot Wayne.
Mason says, thank you, Tony, appreciate it. Not a problem, mate, not a problem. Leslie says, Tony, I swear I don't sing. I don't have a channel as such. That's Stevie winding me up. Do you know what? If you have got a singing channel, because do you know what it is? Sefton normally comes on here and he'll deliberately put things in because he wants to get me singing more. And I'm like, no. It's because I think it was after the Leicester game, we kept getting all these different chants and I kept saying them out. And then it was like, I was... You know, they were going into song and I was bursting into song and people were loving it. And I was like, I ain't doing this full time, so don't get used to that, guys. Like, okay, I ain't got a singing voice. Yes, I did come runner-up in a karaoke at a caravan park once, you know, singing Uptown Funk by Bruno Mars, which I was quite shocked at in front of like about 300 people. And I can't sing to save my life. And how I even got runner-up, I do not know. But apparently I was very close to it. God, there must be some people tone deaf there. Leslie as well.
Breaking news as well, Tony. Breaking news. Everton wanted to sign Andre Ayew, and guess who he's gone to?
Forest.
Yes.
That's Everton going down, John.
They are. They don't want to go there. They don't want to go there because what happened to Andy Gordon, man?
Absolutely. Oh, we've lost Pete. Where's he gone? Pete. Oh, he'll come back in a minute. He's probably... Derek says, Sean Longstaff's a Geordie. He weakest a Geordie hat. He wears a Geordie hat. Good. He drinks the brown and loves the tune and loves his pushy cat. Oh, I love it, mate. Well done.
Love it. Whoa.
Andrew, was the holiday camp for the deaf, eh? I tell you what, Andrew, I don't know how they even managed to put me as a runner-up. Honestly, I do not know. But do you know what? I didn't care. I got a bottle out of it, so I wasn't bothered, Andrew. Either way. Whereas, we knew what you meant there, Derek. Hopefully, Pete will be back in a few minutes, and he's probably just sorting his internet connection out. So we'll wait and see what happens when Pete comes back. So, I mean, we've had quite a few things. I mean, there's a couple of... hang on. Davey says, I sing and play guitar, Tony, but I'm not good. Hey, Davey, it doesn't matter, mate. It doesn't matter. You know, if you want to sing, mate, you sing. Don't worry about that at all, mate. I don't care. I don't care when I sing. If anybody laughs at me, I just think, oh, well, fair enough. I mean, there's a couple of things, John. I mean, also, Everton are looking at... Isco on a free transfer, right? Pete just said, sorry, internet gone off. No worries, Pete, we'll get you straight back in as soon as you get connected, mate. I mean, Everton are looking at Isco, right? But the thing is, John, he's on a free. So he's unattached now because he went to Sevilla and he's unattached now. But I'm thinking, we're late in midfield, John. Would you take Isco on a free transfer on a short-term deal till the summer when we can go out and then buy better? Not saying that he's a bad player, because to play for Real Madrid, you're not a crap player. Hang on, he has Pete coming back as well.
I don't know what happened there.
Probably Jurgen Klopp's around your internet.
Oh, probably chewed all the wires.
Yeah. So what I'm saying, Pete, is apparently Everton are looking at Isco, who's on a free because he's out of contract. Now, what I'm saying, and I haven't asked John for his opinion yet as well, so I'm asking you as well, Pete. Now, we are a bit late in midfield after losing Shelvey. We didn't get another midfielder in.
Yep.
Now, but do you? I mean, on a short-term contract, it's no risk till the summer. would you sign Isco? I think he's still got quality,
Yeah, I
and
would.
even if he's on the bench, it doesn't matter. He's somebody you can bring off the bench.
Yep. I
I'll
would.
come to you, Pete. What's your thoughts on that? Would you have him? Yes or no?
Yeah, I
Why?
definitely would. He's been a really top player, particularly for Real Madrid. Why not? I think why not? I think we need that extra player in midfield, so why not go out and get him?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, do you think you'd cut it in the Premier League,
He
Pete?
could do. Why not? Why wouldn't he?
Yeah. John, the same for you on Isco.
Well, when it's those been linked, right? When you talk about Isco, this guy is on every single thing in the book, right? I'll take him all day long. But only concerned about this guy is his injury record. Yeah, it's made of glass. However, when he plays on that pitch, he brings in value experience. So the younger players can learn from this guy, you know, and Anthony Gordon can learn from him. We're trying to be an even better player. ASM will definitely need to learn for this guy because Isco's levels above him, by the way. Let's be real, when he's match fit. But this guy, I take him all day long, just at the end of the season for experience. And you know what it is? Let's be real. I say yes, please. Go on, take him, because we need a midfielder. We need someone of that who can actually pass the ball and can dribble as well out of the midfield as well. This guy is absolutely brilliant. He is a world champion, and he's won everything in the book with Real Madrid. And when you get the one thing I will say as well, for disadvantage, Real Madrid do not get rid of top quality players that easy. It's as simple as that. That's why they keep players like Modric, Benzema. But he's on a fee. Go and get him. I mean, also tell him, look where we are in the league.
Yeah, I mean, I know. Well, Everton are looking at him, and I can't understand him. If he went to Everton, that would be a total. I think that would be a daft move if he went there. But
yeah,
I know he's on probably a decent wage, but you could possibly say to him with his injury record, it's a pay-as-you-play deal. So basically, if you play, you get paid. If you don't play, you don't get paid. Would he go for that? I don't know. But there again, depends how desperate he is to get back into football. I mean, you know, his contract with Sevilla ran out in December. So, you know, it was just something I thought, what, we need another midfield. Be low risk as well. So even if he did miss a few games through injury, we're not going to be bothered because in the summer he's going to be released again and going to go elsewhere. So it doesn't really affect it. But I mean, I would take him. He's definitely quality. He's got quality, that's for sure. And like you say, John, he's won everything. He's won stuff with Madrid, Champions Leagues, titles. He's won with Spain. So I mean, yeah, absolutely. Without a shadow of a doubt, I would definitely take Isco on. That's for sure, and he would do really well.
I think it'd be
now the next thing I'm going to say.
I'll tell you what he's won, Paul. I'll tell you what he's. Go on, Cam.
Yeah. No, John. Yeah.
I was going to say, I'm trying to look at what he's won exactly, you know what I mean? But I'm going to have to find out later on, mate. So you just carry on, mate. You just carry on.
Yeah, John, you have a look, mate, for that. But I mean, yeah, it will cover it till the summer. I mean, obviously, we've seen the news today that Mason Greenwood all charges against him have been dropped. They're now saying, the police, that apparently key witnesses have pulled out of the case, and some of the evidence that they have couldn't be used against him because it's not reliable enough. Now, you look at this and you think, right, okay then, so if key witnesses are dropping out, there's a couple of reasons they could be dropping out. Are they dropping out because of the pressure of a court case? Or are they dropping out because they know that they're not telling the truth and they don't want to put their hand on that Bible in the court and swear on the oath, because if they get found out, they'll end up with prison time. So, you sort of think, have they pulled out because of that? I mean, we don't know the true facts of it, why it's happened, but I mean, it's a strange one. And Man U have come out with a statement saying that they're now going to do their own code of conduct, and they're going to conduct their little own inquiry. Well, to me, and I know some people might not agree, but the way I look at it is, you're innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Now this guy's not going to court. This guy's not going any further. So technically, he's found not guilty in a way. So the guy is not guilty of anything. Yes, people saw pictures and things like that, and things can be blown out of proportion. But the thing is, though, I mean, your thoughts on this, John and Pete? I mean, what do you think about this whole thing of the Mason Greenwood? I mean, if I'm honest with you, and I know this is going to split a lot of opinion, like I say on our WhatsApp group. A lot of people have said no to it. Some people have said yes. Some people said quality. Now then, if Man U decide that they're going to rip his contract up and see he's a free agent, would you take him at Newcastle? Because this guy is a quality player, John, on his day, and Pete. And this guy, remember what happened with Ched Evans? He went to prison, he served time, and then he eventually cleared his name. Took another couple of years, but he cleared his name. And he's still playing football. If Mason Greenwood was available on a free, if Man U ripped his contract up and kicked him out, would you take him, John?
I'll let you ask Pete the question first. Yeah, I'm still thinking about it.
I'll ask Pete then, because considering Pete, he's had the charges dropped against him, so technically he's not a guilty man on anything.
Yep, that's a good point. He's quality. That's the thing, though, isn't it?
He is.
Does he improve the side? He does.
Yes.
I mean, yep. If he is not guilty, if he hasn't been found not guilty and it's all in the clear, there you are. So it would be hard to say no because he's been that good.
So you would say yes, Pete? What about you, John?
Look,
I know it's a tough one, John.
Has really improved? Yes, he will. I'll leave that at his judgment. For me personally, yes, he's not guilty. Yes, United still got to do their own inquiries as well, sort of thing, Tony. But for me, oh God, it's a hard one for me. I mean, look, at the end of the day, I know he's not guilty, etc. But oh man, I don't know, Tony. I don't know. I really don't know. It's a hard one. But all I will say on the pitch, yeah, he's a quality player. Don't get us wrong. But I don't know. What's your take, Tony?
I mean, yeah, like you say, on the pitch, John, I don't know what he's like off the pitch. I mean, we've seen the stories, but that's only stories, and you can't go off what's going on around. But the thing is, though, I mean, I look at it and I think, yes, he's quality on the pitch. He'd be great on the pitch, John. But you've got to think, what's his character like off the pitch? That's the thing, John. And exactly. Not only that, I'm not saying the club are going to sign him, John. I'm just saying if his contract was ripped up and he was on a free, would you have him? That's the question. But
I'll judge. One thing I will say, Tony, I would judge the PIFA's judgment or Dan Ashworth's judgment. I trust them, right? It's a tricky one. I'll go with Julie. It's a tricky one. But at the same time, if he came to Newcastle, there's not a lot we can do about it. There's not a lot we can do about it, yeah. But I will serve judgment and see what Man U do with their inquiries before I say any further. Because at the end of the day, right, we don't know. But it's a hard one.
It is, John.
I'm going to leave. Let United do their bit. And I'll make a decision then and then. They may want to keep him.
Yeah. That's the thing. Ten Hag might want him because he's an extra player in the squad. But
it's like a new signing according to Ten Hag. But can you imagine if he played against us in the Carabao Cup and he scores the winner? It'd be a kick in the teeth for us.
Yeah, it would be, John. Yeah, absolutely.
It'd be a kick in the teeth for us. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, like I say, we're not saying we're going to take him on, John, but I was just asking that question.
I know. Understood. I understand, yeah. but going back to Isco, right? That is rewards, all right. It was what he's won, right? With Real Madrid, he's won 3 La Liga titles, 1 Copa del Rey, the Supercopa de España, which is 3 times, the Champions League, 5 times Champions League winner. UEFA Super Cup twice, 3 times, and FIFA World Club Champions 1, 2, 3, 4 times. This guy is a serial winner at Real Madrid. And he's been at the club for quite a long time. I'll just go for his goal record as well, guys, if you don't mind. Played for Real Madrid for 9 seasons, 246 appearances, 37 goals. And this guy, he's 30 years of age, he's 31 in April, and I'd take him to the end of the season, man.
Yeah. I mean, we did it with Karius. We signed him out of contract, so, you know.
We did.
Mark's asking us a question, John, right? You wait to get to my response. He says, Tony John, did you both go to the Carabao Cup final when Newcastle beat Newcastle versus Man City, in 1974? Right, Mark, for starters, it was 1976. We lost 2-1 to Man City.
Yeah.
I didn't go, unfortunately. I was only 4-year-old at the time. John's a bit older than me. He may have went. I do not know. But did you go, John?
No, I was nearly 7 at a time. So
there's your answer, Mark.
Sorry, Mark.
Yeah, 1976, mate. I was only a toddler, mate.
Sorry. Exactly.
Davey says John's a jinx. He messed up Rolly's internet as well.
Hey, can you remember the time my internet got messed up as well back in the day? And that sounds a lot better.
Troll says, I think Gordon will be a sub on Saturday. He hasn't been here long enough to get to know our playing style. He's trained though. He's been training, so you know. But at the end of the day, it's up to Eddie Howe how he wants to play it. He might start him, he might not. He might bring him off on as a sub. But you know, at some point during the game, we'll definitely get to see Flash Gordon. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So there we go, guys. Flash Gordon. But yeah, we'll definitely get to see him. John loves that picture, by the way.
I do. Class.
BD,
I tell you what, you can flash
cases.
as much as you want, because at the end of the day, it gets us top 4. He goes to winning goal, it gets top 4. Big up.
Do you know what would be even better, John, if it were 0-0 and Harrison Ashby pops up in the 92nd minute with a winner against West Ham? What a kick in the teeth for West Ham that would be, wouldn't it?
I know, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. You know what I mean? But you're absolutely right.
PDK says, I've got a song for Wembley. She said no, Mason. She said no.
Oh.
It's true. But the thing is, right, what he's done to her, right? Okay, he still did it. We don't know that. No one knows what he actually did. Do you know what I mean? But
that's the thing we don't know.
Well, that's it, yeah.
And then they dropped the kiss. So if he was charged at the time, unless she drops the charge and say, look, I don't want to take this any further, right? So to go back of him, we don't know that as well, then I'm sorry, you do not lay your hands on a woman or a lass. You just don't do that.
No.
You do not. You do that, there should be time for it. And I'll tell you something, right? You should be given prison time for that. Sorry.
I mean, if he hasn't, at the end of the day, nobody knows what's happened. But the thing is, at the end of the day, he's had the charges dropped against him, so the police mustn't have enough. The evidence mustn't be sufficient enough to charge him. So at the end of the day, I know you may think, oh, is he guilty? Is he? But you don't know. At the end of the day, you've just got to let the lad get on with his life now. Simple as. You know, he hasn't gone through a court of law. If he'd gone through a court of law and was found guilty, then yes, you can hang him out to dry. But when he hasn't gone to court, he's innocent till proven guilty. He hasn't been proven guilty, so he's an innocent guy at the end of the day. And that's all I'm going to say on that now. Paul says Everton will sign Mendy and Greenwood.
Oh,
well, Mendy's out with contract, but he's got to go through another trial for 2 more. That we couldn't agree on. Leslie says, agree. Trolls think the SM's turned to fight for his place. Joe Linton back in midfield supporting him and Big Dan Byrne. Let's hope. Derek says, Eddie will start Joey in midfield. Start Maxi and tell him now or never. If he doesn't produce, he'll be off and Gordon on. Yeah, I think so as well. I think so. What would be Isco's wage, says Trolls? He'd probably be on a good amount, but there again, when you're a free agent, sometimes it's if you just want to get to playing football, then I think sometimes you'll take a pay cut just to play football, and it all depends what his hunger is as well. That's the thing. So it's what hunger he's got. PDK says Isco is crap. That's why he's free and not a number 6.
Oh, I wouldn't say he's
Well,
crap. Then.
I wouldn't say he's crap though.
I wouldn't say he's
No,
crap.
I would definitely
This
not
guy
say he's crap.
He's a serial winner. He has won. I mean, I just read out what he's won, and you can't tell us that he's crap. 5 Champions League winner, 4 times the champion Real Madrid, won Super Cups and Copa del Rey. Nah, don't agree with that at all, mate.
Paul says, "Oh, they've been paid off." I wouldn't have thought so, because I think if anybody had been paid off, they would have gone straight to the police about Mason Greenwood.
Exactly.
Davey says, "Drop out either Liars or Braves." Yeah, could be. Lewis says, "I don't think I'll be getting a ticket now. It's going to be so hard, especially when I have a disabled season ticket and a carer, and my brother goes as a season ticket holder as well." All you can do, Lewis, is just have a try, mate. Just get your name in there and see what happens. That's all you can do.
If you've beat all the home games, then you'll be in category 3.
Is that the home games? It's just the home games of the Carbo Cup only, yeah?
Yep, to be in category 3, yeah. All the games. 3 or 4 it is. I can't remember.
3 or 4. But only been to 2 Pete's, so I'll be on 4. Because they soon found out. I'm sure they found out if you've been how many games you've been. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Got it.
Ian says, "Hi, Tony, John, and Paul." It's Pete, actually. So, hi, Ian. Hope you're well, mate. He's changed your name, Pete. PDK says, "Paid off or pressure from the..." Yeah, okay. Hi, all, says Judy. Yeah, hi, all. Hi, Judy. Wasn't there photos, says Brian. Well, allegedly photos, but we don't know. That's the thing. Big up.
Big up. You.
Videos and voice notes, says PDK. Again, it's all speculation.
I forgot about them, so
yeah.
I think possibly I would say no now. Forgot about them, the audio recordings.
Nah.
Yeah, so we don't know what's happened to it, but still, I wouldn't have them.
No,
that'd be a no.
No, not after that.
I don't think we would go for him to. I think if Manu cancelled his contract, I think he'd go abroad him more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, yeah, I think he will.
Definitely not in Newcastle, says Paul. He still hit the last, even if he didn't. Yeah, exactly. Not for us to judge, but if the case has dropped, he's innocent, says Derek. Simple as. I still wouldn't touch him with a barge, Paul. Fair enough. No effing way, says PDK. He hasn't been found not guilty. The case was stopped, not proven either way, says Trolls. True. And says apparently Tony Greenwood's partner, Mason Greenwood's partner, is back with him, even though he kicked the shit out of her and inflicted so much verbal abuse upon her. PDK, fuck did that, says yes he would. Northumberland says anyone who's seen the whole thing when it came out will see he was guilty. Just because a witness pulled out doesn't mean he's innocent. I wouldn't go near him at all. No, well, not after the voice notes and that. No, we definitely wouldn't. No, we forgot about them. Sorry, guys. We forgot about them. So
we did, yeah.
We apologise.
No, that's a no. It's definitely a no then.
Tricky one. Gareth says, "Good evening, Tony, John, and Peter." Good evening, Gareth.
Gareth, my guy, you good?
John says, "I wouldn't know." Did Piff congratulate the club for getting to the final, says Paul?
I'm sure neither would have done.
Yeah, I'm sure they would have done.
God,
absolutely. He'll be there for the final.
Before we go on, right, I mean, do you think Eddie Howe's title should be changed from head coach to manager? Because I think it's time now. It works with Pochettino, it worked with Arteta, and I just hope it works with Eddie from head coach to manager. Because he has the right to become a manager.
Yeah, absolutely, John. But then it could be Eddie Howe himself saying, "I'd rather you just kept me as head coach." He might not want to change, John. That's the thing. If things are working for him as they are, he might say, I don't want to be a manager. I just want to be head coach and known as head coach. And simple as that. So we don't know.
Well, it'd be great, but they must have talked about it, though. They must have spoken about it. We don't know.
Yeah. Northumberland Jody says Eddie and the team wouldn't want to be anywhere near him. He likes good characters and obviously not one. Absolutely. Paul says, wouldn't dare have Greenwood being a father to a little girl. If that happened to my daughter, he wouldn't be left stand. Absolutely. Same with me. Yeah, definitely. Davey says, wasn't raped by the way, but these things happen. Those looking for a cash cow, says Davey. Fair enough. He says, I was at the fair in 1976 and I think Leslie was there. PDK says, sorry, Charles, I'm not supporting this channel if they want Greenwood at our club. I have a daughter and can't imagine it happening to her.
PDK?
Yeah, no.
We're not having him. No. We're not having him.
No.
No,
we didn't know about the video. Not how it's going to happen, mate. So
yeah, once we found out about them, mate, no. Davey says, John, you shouldn't assault anybody, man or woman and children, if you deserve all you get. Absolutely,
exactly,
Davey. Well said,
right,
Davey. Well said.
Thank you. Absolutely right. I mean, you can't lay hands on losses, that's especially, but anyone as well. Because at the end of the day, right, it's not right. It's not right.
And has this score got an attitude issue, says Trolls? I'm not sure.
Not sure.
I'm not sure.
Ian says, police said new evidence come to light. That one reasons it was dropped. Strange, isn't it? Yeah, it's all strange why it's dropped all of a sudden. I guess if we hear from Man U, I guess if Man United turn around and get rid of and rip his contract up, then we know that there's more to it than meets the eye. So yeah, if Man U do that, then I think it's good riddance on their part as well. Andrew says, I heard Greenwood's recordings. He's a disgusting mess. Do you know what? A guy who's so talented at football to go out like this, I mean, it is just an absolute disgrace. And this guy probably had the world at his feet. He probably would have been at this year's World Cup and things like that. He could have been the difference, and helping England, but he spoiled his own career. You go back to when, I think it was when we played Iceland or something with when Southgate was manager, and didn't him and Foden, have a couple of girls in the hotel, and they got sent home. But Foden's turned it around since then, but Mason Greenwood hasn't. So yeah. Lewis says, yeah, I've been to all the home games in the cup. Yeah, just try your best there. Julie says, I looked at a seat picker and let's try and buy tickets, but the price are around £1,400. That is ridiculous.
You know what it is, right? What I think they should do, right? Whoever sells for that sort of money, sort of thing, they should shut them down as a cash cow, right? And it is unfair. And I tell you what as well, the club are losing out as well. So for me personally, I think it's complete and utter rip-off. I hope they don't get the money, and I hope they suffer for it, whoever that company is. Because I'm telling you now, right, they are going to get caught. If you buy the ticket for £2,500 or £1,400, whatever it may be, right, and you go in and you don't get in with that ticket, then you'll get done. I'm sorry. You're going to buy a ticket, do it at an official club. That's it.
Paul says, if you have the cash to join Wembley Club, I think the cheapest is around £2,500. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Yeah, if you want to be in the corporate section. Tony Boy says, Nell. Yeah, Niall. And Ian says, no, sorry, Peter, lol.
Sorry, Ian.
Lewis says, it's a bit shocking that you have to do that online, but what about people who don't have internet in the house? Yeah, I can see where you're coming from, Lewis.
I can as well.
About the tickets.
Yep.
Because you can't go to the box office. Julie says he's a wrong'un. Well, he definitely is now, isn't he?
He is now.
Yes, definitely. Thought he was manager. Says Brian, so yeah, he thinks he should be manager. I didn't think there was a difference between head coach and manager, says Julie J. Yeah, there is a slight difference, yeah.
Yeah, the manager has the final say, and the head coach just coached the sides.
Thought there was enough for me. I didn't know about the voice note, said Brian. Yeah. BS says Thomas Partey had charges that also mysteriously disappeared. There was allegedly, wasn't it? Troll says PDK, they don't agree with anything he did. Absolutely. Paul says, didn't anyone see the video of Southampton fan trying to have a go at Adam P?
Yep, I did. Yep.
I haven't seen it. No, I'll have
I
to
haven't
have
seen
a
it.
check that one out.
What happened, Pete? I didn't see it.
Oh, it's ups. I hope the bloke gets battered in the face if he's caught. If he's caught again.
What did he actually
Was this
do?
at St James's, was it?
It was somewhere in Newcastle. He calls Adam Pearson a faggot.
Wow. I hope he gets caught for it. Oh, he gets caught for that. Shocking.
Hope he gets his face clawed in next time.
Davey says, we've had enough bad press, think he's best left alone, absolutely. Andrew says, yes, I suppose, I wish I was there. Paul says, I'm surprised so many Newcastle fans stood there and let it happen, says Paul. Sometimes it's not worth getting involved. That's the problem, though, because you do. I keep saying this, but, you know, like, if I say an argument, now maybe it's about 20 odd year ago, I might have like stepped in and said, you know, hang on a minute. But these days, you don't know what people are carrying. So it's best not to step in. If you see something happening, phone the police and let them deal with it, because, like I say, at the end of the day, you don't know what people are carrying, and it's not worth risking your life over.
It's true. But one thing I will say about Adam, right? Adam is such a passionate podcaster. He came at university to do this, right? So passionate. He's doing fantastic. He's doing really well, right? And I just wish people would just back off him, leave him alone, because he's doing what he does, enjoy like we do as well. Look, end of the day, right? Just let him do his stuff. Because Adam, if you watch him, mate, you're doing a cracking. So he's been on my show a couple of times as well.
Yeah. Joe says, I agree, I'm not having Greenwood anywhere near our club. Cabbage Head was a pretending coach, says.
I've just shared something, Tony, so if you want to get it up. Oh, the old St. Bruce is a Newcastle United fan. Oh, he's at the Man United game.
Wow.
Oh.
Unbelievable. Typical.
What an idiot.
I hope he doesn't turn up to Wembley, though, because I'll tell you what, fans are catching them as well, man.
Shows you where his loyalties are, doesn't it?
It does. Typical. He's always a red, always be a red, and that's that. But can you remember when he smiled, when he did that video, he smiled? I don't know if it was manager at the time. I think it might be Orly. He smiled after he got beat by 3-1. He actually caught smiling. You saw that, Pete, didn't you?
Yeah.
I remember that.
He actually smiled after the game.
Julie says, try to grab Adam P's phone as well in Newcastle. Brian says, yeah, so shocking stuff. Big up Adam P. Yeah. Julie says, Adam handled it well. Paul says, yeah, he did. Showed him up in the end. Davey says, they were just young boys. Guy was twice their age. A bouncer stepped in. Yeah, thank God for that.
Thank God for that.
Well, you know, Lewis says, it's absolutely shocking how sponsors pretty much get half the stadium. Yeah, I know what you mean, Lewis. I mean, all these corporate tickets. And the thing is, so half of them are probably not even interested in football, but are just going along because they get the lavish day, they get the 3-course meal and drinks and things like that. And that's all they're going along for.
And I don't know anything about football, Tony. It's simple as that. Let's be real, right? I mean, I think that's unfair. It's just pricing out the real football fans there. Football and games like this should be for football fans only. Not for sure, not for film stars, not for corporates, right? You know, it's sweet FA about football, right? You don't care about the fans. It should be purely for football. It should be 45,000 tickets each club for us and for United.
Yeah, it should be, John. I totally agree. Just like John said, Mason, about it. You're smelling because the kebab menu had just dropped on his doorstep, John. Well, you know. Lewis says, like the FA Cup is better, where pretty much the sponsors only get the corporate tickets, the rest then the stadiums for the fans. Yeah, absolutely. Wayne says, Bruce looks like a raggy doll.
What a light.
Yeah. So, guys, so we've obviously had a bit of talking about different bits there. So, so obviously this show is about the road to Wembley, and our adventure on the road to Wembley started last August, on the 24th of August, when we played Tranmere Rovers at Prenton Park. That seems a long time ago now, doesn't it? But in that game, they took the lead on the 21st minute through Elliot Nevitt. And it was a shock because you were like, oh, hang on, this was a potential banana skin. We had a few big guns on the bench as well, like Bruno, Trippier. We all remember that. And Sven Botman was on the bench and Joe Linton. So, I mean, yeah. And then, obviously, that was half-time. They were 1-0 up. Second half, 1-1 at half-time, because Lascelles equalised in that first half, if I remember. Yeah. And then in the second half, just after half-time, we brought Trippier on. And his involvement with that cut, well, he came on in the first half, Trippier, didn't he? Sorry, because Kraft went off with an injury.
Yep.
Yeah. It's that long ago now, I'm trying to think. Yeah, that's right, because Kraft went off in the first half with that bad injury. And Trippier came on because he set Jamal Lascelles up for the first goal. And then he was the assist for Woods as well, who scored with a header. I mean, that was a game where Tranmere Rovers were an absolute disgrace because their players were out to injure our players. They were just going into every tackle heavy. We even brought Bruno on because we thought if we're going to penalties, we'll want him warmed up. And he took a knock in that game, and that ultimately kept him out for a few weeks after that as well. Obviously, Kraft's still out now. And then I think Lascelles got an injury in that game, if I remember. So, I mean, you know, they did a job on us, Tranmere, but we won that Carabao Cup second round game 2-1. I mean, Pete and John, do you remember that game well? I'll start with you, Pete.
Yeah, I remember watching
along.
that game. Did the watch along for it as well. Yeah, I thought when they took the lead, I'm thinking, oh, God, no. But we got back in it, definitely, which was good through Lascelles and then Wood getting us the winning goal. And so far, look, we've managed to now take Premier League sides out of the rest of this competition as well. And this has got to where we are now in the final. Would you believe it? We've took this competition seriously, and just look where we are.
Yeah, I mean, John, what's your memories of that game against Tranmere? I know it's a long while ago, John. It's over 7 months ago.
Yeah, 7 long months as well. Yeah, it's a tricky place to go to, Prenton Park here, because most teams do come on stop there as well, where you got the fans right so close to the pitch. And I thought we handled it quite well. I mean, yes, we went a goal behind, and we fixed up as well, tried to get back into the game well. He had to. Brought a couple of big guns on. I mean, got Bruno on, and he nearly got injured as well, didn't he, by the way? But Mimsers is right. But we had to win that game in 90 minutes. And, you know, I thought he looked comfortable after we went 2-1 up, by the way, if my memory serves correctly. And we just closed it down, Pete and Tony. So, look, it was a tricky game, and I thought we negotiated that well.
Yeah, absolutely, John. Totally agree with you on that one. And then, obviously, before the World Cup break, we played Crystal Palace at home in the next round, which was the third round. It was a 0-0 draw. We won a 3-2 on penalties. Nick Pope saving penalties in that game, 3 penalties. I mean, possession for that day, we had 66% compared to the 34% that Palace had. I mean, again, it was another 0-0 draw with Crystal Palace. Mm-hmm. That was a game where Sven Botman and Bruno both missed their penalties. But thankfully, Nick Pope was on song and saved 3 penalties, which meant we went through 3-2 on the penalty shootout. Again, I'll come to you first, John, this time. Do you remember that game against Palace, John? And you went, didn't you?
I didn't go to that game, no. I mean,
you didn't?
I didn't know. I mean, no one on penalties, but look, we passed them to death. We made, I think, we made nearly 600 passes against a Palace that's just happy to play for a draw, but we had the chances again. But if you think about it, right? I mean, Crystal Palace are such a tough team to beat down, and it's proved that as well in the league game as well. But look, when we got through the penalties, right, and Nick Pope was here on the day, and we just went for it. When Mihailovic, I think his name, missed his first penalty. I thought he was on to a win up because he's deadly from penalty kicks, but. Look, at the end of the day, right? I think he has only like 3 or 4 chances, shots on target that day. He had the chances, just couldn't put them away, Tony. That's the thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Before I go to Peter, Andrew's just put on someone's phone's buzzing like mad. Sounds like mine on Tinder, lol. Are you a swipe left or a swipe right, or Andrew?
Exactly. Yeah. Oh!
I don't know whose phone it is buzzing, but yeah, I see what you mean, Andrew. But yeah, no. Well, you'll have to let us know, Andrew, unless you want to keep that to yourself. Are you a lefter or a righter? Andrew says, I can barely remember Tuesday, and never mind Tranmere. I mean, BS says for us in United, John. Lewis says when Bruno got sent off, I thought, oh my God, he's out for the final, but thank God he's not. No, he's not.
No.
Mason says never plays for Crew now. Jeez. And Lewis says, one quick question. Can Bruno play for the under-21s when he's suspended? No, he's suspended from all football. Simple as.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, so Pete, yeah, Crystal Palace game. You went to that game, if I remember rightly.
Mm-hmm.
Can you remember that game well, Pete?
Yeah, a little bit of a ball fest it was, I thought. I mean, we didn't create a lot. Southampton, Crystal Palace did try to frustrate with like they did back in September, and they kind of did that. That was the thing. So, but penalty shit out. Oh, me head was nearly in my mouth at that point because I'm thinking, oh, penalty shootouts. We don't do well on them. We're normally going out on those as well. But thank heavens for Nick Pope for being our keeper in that game as well. So the way he had to save those 3 penalties from Palace as well, because I thought scored the first 3, of course, through Wood. Then it was Trippier, then Joe Linton, and you're thinking, okay, maybe there's a chance as well. But it was when I came to when Bruno had that chance to win it, I'm thinking, oh no, have a fluff our lines again. But thank God Nick Pope saves that penalty from them, and that gives us to go through. Oh my God, my head was in my mouth there, nearly.
Yeah, because I remember it wasn't televised, that game, anywhere at all, not even abroad. And it was just thankful Sky Sports News showed all the penalties. So it was brilliant. They took the penalty shootout live on Sky Sports News. And yeah, that was just brilliant that we won that game on penalties, and deservedly so as well. So yeah, just thankfully Nick Pope was on a masterclass that night. Mm-hmm. Then we went into the round of 16 game after the World Cup. This was our first game before the Premier League started, and we played AFC Bournemouth at St James's Park. We won that game 1-0, courtesy of an Adam Smith own goal on the 67th minute. We had plenty of chances. Our possession was 64% to their 36%. I mean, you know, I was on Craig Beasley's channel the night before doing the preview with him. And he said to me he's surprised that Eddie Howe was taking a cup seriously, because when he was at Bournemouth, he never took a cup seriously. But I did say to Craig, I said, look, maybe because, no disrespect to Bournemouth, but you'd probably rather keep you in the Premier League than have a cup run, which might disrupt your season. But yeah, I mean, that was another game that was just after the World Cup. Bit of a tough game, but we passed the test of time, and we got the 1-0 win. Can you remember that game, Pete?
Yeah, I do. Again, kind of struggled for chances. We did have our strongest 11 out as well. It did take an own goal. That was the thing. But I think Bournemouth kind of did the same. What they did, tried to frustrate as well. But then they just didn't have an answer. just scored past us in that game. It did take a 1-0. There was just a miscommunication in the box, and they put it into their own net. So it was enough for us as well. But again, it was another Premier League side we put out.
Yeah.
And we got through against, because under Bruce, we wouldn't have done that. No chance.
Yeah, absolutely. John, I mean, you went to that game. I remember you going because you took your lass with you.
I did.
And obviously she must have been the lucky mascot. I mean, John, yeah, can you remember that game well?
Yeah, I mean, look, again, you had lots of chances in that game. I mean, Longstyle set the ball rolling, and the shot didn't quite come off. Wolsey had a goal disallowed. I think Bournemouth played well on the counter-attack. I mean, Nip had to make a couple good saves from Keith and Moore, Dominic Solanke as well. Had to make some good saves, but Bournemouth get the right goal. But the final ball at times wasn't there. We got away with it a couple more times. But again, Bournemouth is a tough team, man, when it comes to St James's Park. They do well at Newcastle, like 3-1s when they cost Steve McLaren this job. They scored in the 95th minute under Rafa Benitez. They come ahead and drew once each where they thought they could have won the game. And listen, at the end of the day, right, I mean, we have to keep going, keep grinding. We have to grind ourselves. We can't keep beating teams 3-4 and outs all the time, you know. But I thought Nip will make a couple of good saves there. And yeah, again, just done enough to get through to the next round.
Yeah, definitely, John. Yeah, I remember watching that on TV, and it was one of those difficult games, but it was a one we had to win, and we won it, and it set us up nicely for getting back into the Premier League on the Boxing Day. And after beating Leicester on Boxing Day, you know, it was just weird that we were drawn to them again in the Carabao Cup in the quarter-final. And, I mean, to be fair, I remember that game well. You know, we had 22 shots to Leicester 7 and 9 on target to their 1. I mean, that was a night Dan Burns scored and, you know, done his dance in the dressing room afterwards. And, you know, and I just can't, and Joe Linton obviously scored. But the thing is, though, with that game, I kind of think in the first half we could have probably, within that first 20 minutes, we could have probably been 3 or 4-0 up, if I'm honest. The way we were flying at Leicester and the chances we had, we should have put that away. But we won 2-0. We got the job done. It sent us to the semi-finals. I'll start with you, John. You went to that game, John, did you, or didn't you?
No, I stayed at home for that game. What I could have done, I could have bought that ticket and then do the competition, give that ticket away. But unfortunately, you're not going to believe this. I missed out on my 3 chances, didn't I, for the cup final? But yeah, you're right. I mean, we dominated that game. There are so many chances, just couldn't put the chances away. That's the problem. We are creating, but we're not ruthless enough as well. But once Stanburg got the first goal, then it settled on nerves. And when Jordan got the second goal, then it was game over. Even though Jamie Vardy was an absolute sitter. And the old Jamie Vardy would have put that one away, no doubt about it. But we got away with it again, and you know, and we deserved that win as well. We deserved it.
Yeah, absolutely. Pete, you know, you remember that game? You went there. You went to that game, didn't you, Pete?
Yeah, absolutely, I did. That was a great game. That was, particularly in the second half, as well. I mean, some great opportunities we did have in that first half as well, I thought. But second half is right. Now these is where the chances are going to start to go in. And Dan Burns' goal was just really, really good. The way he just shoots through Amarty's legs is just so clever. And there's no way Danny Ward's getting to that. And the second goal was pretty much the icing on the cake and the cherry on top for us to get us into that semi-final as well. Pass from Miggy was brilliant, really good. And all Joe Linton has to do is just slot that in the corner for 2-0. Game done, dusted. Semi-final. We were definitely getting there. Could have been a little bit scary if Jamie Vardy took one of those chances away, I had to mind you. But Leicester weren't great at all. And the job was done when Joe Linton needed to.
Yeah, absolutely, Pete. Yeah, definitely. It was great to just get to the semi-final. It was fantastic, and yeah, it was just a great night all round. And we were in dreamland getting through at the semi-finals, but we did. The draw came out on the Wednesday, and we were drawn away to Southampton for the first leg, and at home for the second leg. First leg away to Southampton, we had chances, but Joe Linton scored, ruled out by VAR. I still don't think it was handball, in my opinion. I think if he'd controlled it with his hand to then score it, then I would say, yeah, definitely, but I don't think he did control it with his hand. And then we did have chances to score. We did get one. Joe Linton eventually scored on 73 minutes after Isak and ESM came on. They changed the dynamics of that game. Isak's pace at the Southampton defence couldn't get near him. He's crossed straight for Joe Linton. Joe Linton couldn't really miss. Well, he could miss, but he couldn't really. In the back of the net, made it 1-0. Then within about 90 seconds, Adam Armstrong scored, went on a run as if he'd scored the best goal of his career against Newcastle, celebrating like mad, only for VAR to choke it off. Rightfully so, that was a definite handball. Then we saw Seletar Carr sent off on 86 minutes for a second bookable offence. And we saw Bruno get booked for celebrating that red card. And then we saw Jacob Murphy give him a wave goodbye off the pitch, and so did Bruno as well. So a lot of needle in that game, but we went to the second leg with that 1-0 win. I'll come to you first, John. What do you remember of that Southampton game? Because you actually went there in the home end.
I did. Listen, I think it's a cracking. I think it's the atmosphere is fantastic there. I mean, from both sets of fans in the stadium as well. Where I stood as well, thinking, "What's the heck?" But at the end of the day, right? I mean, it's for the football, and Newcastle should have been 4-5 up at half time. I mean, the chances we had, Willock had two good chances, plays it over. That offside goal for Joe Linton. Oh my God! I mean, we shouldn't be talking. We shouldn't talk about the final in the second leg not winning the game. But I thought Southampton improved. I thought they made it very difficult for us on a neat like. And I think Akaraz had a shot which Pope made a hash of it. By the way, luckily it fell to our player as well. It could be a lot worse, but how did Joe Linton miss that chance? I just don't know. But he made amends of it later on. Then Southampton celebrated like mad when Armstrong got the equalising goal, which rightly offside, And one of the Southampton fans took me hit off. You know what I mean? When he tried to celebrate, I had to duck down. So at the end of the day, right, when the VR came, I just went, crowd just went, basically, dude, you're offside. And I just said, calm. And I just kept us. So there's Leicester next to her sort of thing. She looked at us, she smiled at us, right? That she knew I was right, sort of thing. She knew I was right. So, but at the end of the day, look, and a partner, by the way, there you go. And when it was offside, they were absolutely furious. Absolutely furious. And Newcastle fans went mental. That's when we won that game, because that deflated Southampton. It really deflated them. You know what I mean? But when we should have got a second goal, easy around the keeper, but the keeper got a touch for it and he just couldn't do it. ASM clean through, got the car, brought him down, got sent off for it, rightly so. And look, I was happy we won the win. And take it to the next leg.
Yeah, I mean, before I get to Pete, Julie says, I remember Tranmere game as Emil Kraft got injured after he improved so much. Yeah, he did. Yeah. Mason says, did I say something wrong? Because I got some reason I was put on timeout. No, Mason, not that I know of. Unless sometimes, Mason, this can be a bit funny, and if you're going to click to another comment, sometimes if I've hit the three dots by mistake, I might have accidentally hit you on timeout. So if I have, I do apologise. And you'll find out yourself when you're doing this, Mason, with StreamYard, how easy it can be done. This is the second person I've done it to, and I haven't done it on purpose, Mason. So no, you haven't said nothing wrong at all, mate. Absolutely not, mate. Yeah, Pete, so the Southampton first leg. Your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, I mean, we had a lot of chances we should have taken as well. I mean, I've got to admit, the first goal that Joe put away, that should have counted. I don't know how they've given that as handball. When it's the ball's right, yeah, mostly touching his side. I mean, that was disgraceful not to give that. I mean, just unbelievable. But we had chances through Willock, who blazed them over as well. Again, wasted. Joe Linton missed a one in the second half, which he should have scored as well. We had to get the substitutes on because we were starting to become quite sluggish. But as soon as ASM and Isak came on, that's when we started to get back on the game again. And Isak just spins his man completely and just plays a nice ball in the box for Joe Linton just to come running in, who surely couldn't miss from there. Certainly couldn't miss from there. And that was good to give us that lead. And the Adam Armstrong goal, it had to be disallowed. Well, if they disallowed ours, surely that one had to be as well. So just to make it fairer, we started the game, we got the job done, which was great, and we took the game back at St James's Park with the advantage.
Yeah, absolutely, Peter. It was vital that we didn't lose that game at all. Mason says it's okay, Tony. He says, I just mentioned that the Tranmere right back is wanted by Aberdeen. Oh, I didn't hear that one, but yeah, no disrespect to Tranmere though, but I think anybody who probably went from the Scottish Premier League would do well, to be fair. But good luck to the lad if he goes to Aberdeen. So Tuesday we had the second leg, and my thoughts on this game. Obviously, I missed coming on with you yesterday, but my thoughts on this game. We started brightly out the traps within 4 minutes. Longstaff scored, and do you know what really pleased me about the goal he scored? The first goal was he kept the shot low. This is what I've been saying for weeks, guys. This is what I've been saying for weeks. If you keep your shots down, hit them on target, you've either got a chance of scoring or the keeper parries it and it goes into the... Hopefully it goes in front of a Newcastle player who can pop it in the net. Now, when he kept that low and scored, I thought, thank God for that, Longstaff. You've actually done it for once, because if you'd done this against Leeds, we would have won that game, you know? And then, obviously, he got his second goal. You know, another great pass from, I think, Bruno, wasn't it? And he scored. I mean, he took that really well. And then he could have had a hat-trick. I mean, that reverse pass from Bruno through the defence was absolutely fantastic. And he just put it wide. But he was keeping his shots low, which I was quite impressed at. So maybe Eddie Howe's told him in training, look, this is how you're shooting, but if you keep it low, you've got more chance of scoring than you have of trying to put height on it. So, and then Willock made that error, which he had been playing all right as well at Willock. But that was an error, and Che Adams took that goal really well. There was no chance anyone was getting near that. Just a shame that it blotted our defensive record. And I don't think Pope was very impressed, actually, to be fair, because he probably wanted another clean sheet. But second half, Southampton really came at us. I mean, you know, you could tell they were up for it. I mean, they made a couple of changes. They brought that Perrault on. I mean, I think he's a terrific left-back, by the way. I just think he's playing for the wrong team, unfortunately. And they've just signed that left winger as well, Sulemina. However you pronounce his name. But I know we were looking at him last January. And I'm not being funny. He should be playing a better team than Southampton. No disrespect to Southampton. But no, I thought, you know, and we controlled that game. Adam Armstrong had a big chance in the second half when he should have scored, and he tried to lift it over Pope, and Pope saved it with his legs. Thankfully, he did that. But overall, yeah, we got through that game. Bruno got a red card, and rightfully so it was a red card, by the way, guys, because, you know, at first, you got the yellow card, but then Paul Tierney was sent back to the monitor to check it, and when he checked it, come back, obviously give the signal, red card. it was above the ankle, so it was rightfully he had to go. Unfortunately, he's missing the next 3 games: West Ham, Bournemouth, and Liverpool. We should be all right in those 3 games. Remember, Bruno missed a game against Liverpool back in August when he was injured against Tranmere. So it's not the first time we've been without Bruno against Liverpool. And to be fair, guys, we shouldn't have anything to fear from this Liverpool team, especially when they start rolling the punches out in midfield. But overall, we got the job done on Tuesday. We won 2-1. Not the greatest thing, but we won 3-1 on aggregate. And that then, I mean, winning 3-1, I mean, on aggregate, another fantastic, another fantastic day in the life as a Newcastle United fan. And that 3-1 aggregate win sealed our trip to Wembley Stadium, as we have there.
Oh, yes.
And also was quite an emotional night that night, wasn't it? Because we said hello to Anthony Gordon and Ashby. We said hello to them too. They got a great Geordie welcome. But we also, unfortunately, had to say goodbye to a legend, and that is John Joe Shelby. And I say he's a legend because he's been with the club for 7 years, and this guy went through a lot of shit under the previous regime. Got relegated to the Championship, could have left, but he didn't. He stayed, and he helped us fight our way back up to the Premier League. And he's been a great servant to the club. The lad deserves as much credit as we can actually give him. Yes, at times he may not have been the best player sometimes, but he did try his best, and he done all he could for us. Maybe he's realised now things are progressing at the club, but he did go to Eddie Howe and say, look, if Forest want me, can I please go? Eddie Howe's obviously reluctantly said yes, okay then, because he wasn't sure whether he'd get a new contract in the summer off Newcastle. And then obviously Wednesday evening, the pictures come out, and there's John Joe Shelby in his Forest shirt, wearing the number 6 as well. He's still 10 days away from being fit, but I think Forest have got a terrific player there. He'd fit their style of football, and I think he'll help keep Forest in the Premier League, in all honesty.
I thought he was playing. I thought he was on the bench yesterday. I don't know.
Did you?
Because it was another Shelby, but it was another Shelby, George Shelby, I think it was. And there's me thinking, oh, John Joe's on the bench.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll come to you first, Pete. I mean, the game on Tuesday. I mean, give us your thoughts on the game, and then obviously the thoughts of Flash Gordon and Ashby coming out and getting their warm welcome, and the Shelby going as well.
Absolutely. I mean, yes. I mean, that it started off as well just before them getting announced, but we had DJ Shaq as well.
Yes.
Performing as well, which is really, really good. Yep, the build-up, the flags, the scarves, seeing the announcements of Anthony Gordon and Harrison Ashby as well, getting introduced on the pitch. Great welcome by the fans. You can tell they enjoyed it as well. And then we start the game. Of course, I mean, started the game off very, very well indeed. We really, really did. I mean, Longstaff, all he had to do this time, keep the shot down, and he's like, right, I'm going to just ping this right low in the far corner. The keeper's not going to get that, and that is exactly what he did. He was very unlucky not to score another one from that. He did keep the shot low. It just went wide of the post. But the second goal, great pass from Miggy, and all Longstaff does is just comes racing in. Again, shot low, past the keeper, 2-0. Newcastle well in the driving seat at this rate. Well in the driving seat. But then it did get sloppy after that, I've got to admit. It really, really did. Willock, I don't know what he's doing. If that's a pass he doesn't need to do. Either you look someone, to pass that by, which he should have done, and that allowed Southampton to try and get back in the game as well. Adam Armstrong could have maybe got an equaliser, but he didn't. Nick Pope making himself look big. But again, we also had some other chances ourselves. Longstaff outraged just outside the box. Good save from the keeper. Bruno, just before he got sent off, hit the post as well with his left foot. So he was very unlucky not to score there. But again, the red card, it is a red card. Even though, has Bruno intentionally gone to do that? No, he hasn't. But in this day and age, you can't get away with it now, unfortunately. I mean, I was showing it on my show last night with John as well. I mean, the position in El Dozi's leg was in. I'm thinking he's actually lucky that his ankle's not gone into there, because that could have well happened as well. Bruno will learn from that. I know it is his first red card in his career, which he said he was disappointed and he did feel gutted when it was shown, but it is the right decision. Unfortunately, that's the thing. We would have been crying out if that was to one of our players as well. So there, but job was done. We had to get defensive. We had to probably start going defensive at the end just to make sure we held on, and that is exactly what we did. We did very well to make that wall big, to block a Ward-Prowse's free kick as well. And we just saw the rest of the game, and the scenes at the end were just mind-blowing. Absolute mind-blowing. And look where we are. We're going to Wembley.
Yay.
We are. We're going there. Wembley, yeah, absolutely. And North London, here we come. I mean, John, fantastic. Fantastic game. Give us your thoughts on, first of all, the players that were introduced, Flash Gordon and Ashby, and also your thoughts on Shelvey going from the club. It's a bit of a shock, isn't it? Shelvey's gone, but we wish the lad well. And also your thoughts on the game, John.
Look, when Anthony Gordon and Harrison Ashby came on the pitch, they didn't know what hit them, really. Because at the end of the day, look, they thought to themselves, wow, we have joined a special club here, by the way. Do you know what I mean? It's a proper football club. The atmosphere is electric. And you know what? Anthony and Harrison will be thinking, I'm glad I joined this club. Do you know what I mean? And they're going to enjoy it here. Do you know what I mean? If you get it right, then you could become legends here. We look after you. Simple as that. And then on to John Shelvey. It's sad to see him. I wish him all the best. Yeah, it's sad to see him. God, wish him all the best. But in today's game, in this team, I don't think he'd be quick enough in our team anymore. And that's no disrespectful for John Joe, but he could have left. We got relegated. He stuck with us. That's why we like him. He got us out, helped us suit under Rafa Benitez. And he could have gone way back because I think he criticised Rafa's tactics. And a lot of people wouldn't speak about that, but he could have been on his way, but he didn't. And the reason he didn't go away because he's on 80k a week at the time. So, look, he's been a great servant, John Shelvey. I wish he were at Nottingham Forest. He is a great guy, off and on the pitch, I'm sure. And we move on from him. He moves on from us, and I hope he does well with Forest. But on to the game. I'll go along like you guys have said as well. We had to get over the goal. We've done that. Sean Longstaff scored for a lovely assist from Kieran Trippier. He should have scored again as well. And we've hit it wide from close range. But you said, Tony, if he gets the shooting boots right and it's on target, they'll go in. And that's exactly what he did. I'm pleased for him. I'm pleased for him on the neat light. And then he's got a second goal. Lovely assist from Miggy. 2-0, game over. And it's just, it's game over. It was on the way to Wembley until Southampton scored that goal from Che Adams. It's a lovely finish, by the way, but I think Nick probably had no chance at all of saving it, or even saw it late. Either way, he had no chance. It was 2-1. And then in the second half, we looked a bit sloppy in the second half. His passes wasn't great. I thought Varian share. His pass was sloppy. Even Sven Botman's pass wasn't that great, I can't lie. And Shaw alongside that wonderful shot, which would keep us saved. And that would have been a hat-trick. I would have been proud for that guy. But on to Bruno, like you guys said, he had to go. He can't get away with that. I'm sorry. I can't defend what he did. Yes, I know people's going to say that wasn't violent, but he caught the guy's ankle. Yes, he got the ball first, but he caught the guy's ankle. Like Pete said, he was very lucky to be standing, but even though he got sent off, we closed the game. I mean, Armstrong should have scored that goal. It was poor here from his legs. But other than that, I think first half excellent, second half sloppy. Southampton made it difficult for us as well. But I do feel Southampton played the wrong system. So they played 5 at the back. And he admitted he got our tactics wrong. But I don't care. We're at Wembley. Book our hotels, tickets, there we go.
Absolutely, John. I mean, the thing is, yeah, we're at Wembley, and it's gonna be a fantastic day, and it'll not be easy for Man United, that's for sure. Even Ten Hag said it's going to be a tough game. I mean, they're not going to have Ronaldo this time surrounding the referee, so we've got nothing to fear against Man United. As long as we play our game. But I think the only thing is not to go out gun-ho like we did against Southampton, against Man United. But I think we'll play very differently to what we did against Southampton. I mean, if we'd gone up, say, 3-0 by the time they got a goal, I think that would have killed the tie off for them. And I was just hoping that if the amount of gaps they were leaving, that we would exploit it more, but we didn't. But do you know what? Overall, we got the job done, and we're off to Wembley, and that's the best thing about it. We're going to Wembley at the end of the day, so we're all happy about that.
Yeah, we are, and it's been a long time in coming, guys, getting to Wembley sort of thing, right? And you know what it is? I mean, we deserve it. We as fans deserved it, and it's taken us 13 years. To get into the new Wembley, and now we could just go and say yes, we're here, and we are not going to here to make it the numbers. We're here to compete and win the thing.
Yeah, absolutely, and roll on. We can't wait for it either, can we? Not at all.
Exactly.
Yeah. We're just so happy. It's great because we're back at Wembley after it. The last cup final was 24 years ago against Manchester United, and that was in the FA Cup, but that was against a totally different Man United team to what it is now. And we had Rudd Hull at that day. We lost, 2-0, but this time round, we're looking to get revenge and bring the trophy home. And I mean, what's your? I'm going to ask you for your comments. I mean, I've just seen a little snippet of it. I haven't seen the whole thing, but Jason Cundy's come out now and said he hopes Man United win the Carabao Cup final. He does not want Newcastle anywhere near that trophy. He says, Man, you have to win that trophy. What's your thoughts, Pete?
Why do they have to win it? Why are we not allowed to win it?
Yeah.
Well, what? Sorry, if we win it, what are you going to be saying then? You're going to be left with egg on your face. Him and Simon Jordan will be left with eggs on their faces if we win that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just probably because Chelsea's nowhere near the final. That's why.
Yeah.
I'm going to come on to Chelsea in about a minute and a half. But John, I mean, what's your thoughts on the on what Jason Cundy said?
I think the guy's an absolute first-class prick. Excuse me, French. I'm sorry, but he's another one, right? Doesn't like Newcastle United, right? Unless he winds the fans up. So he's been told to wind the Newcastle fans up, so he gets paid for it as well. But it's Chelsea back in 2004, right? Got taken over Roman Abramovich, and since he's been at this club, he spent $1 billion. He said we don't want new money coming in. We want all money, sit to all regime sort of thing. Set that right. He's just jealous because he knows full well that Newcastle United are coming in for them as well. He's relevant, absolutely. This guy, right, is a muppet. He really is a muppet, right? And I love to speak to Jason Cundy. I love to get on my show so he can come on here and explain to himself why does he have a dislike of Newcastle United? Because he knows full well they are rattled and we are coming for them. Do you know what? I think we're going to win the Carabao Cup, guys. We are really going to win the Carabao Cup. I'm truly, really going to win it. We're going to see the day. And you know what? We're going to go out on business quietly, do our business quietly, guys. We're going to see the day. And we'll see if Jason Cundy turns up on Sports Bar on Monday night. Because I guarantee you, he'll probably have about a couple of weeks off. The guys are...
Yeah. a muppet, John.
The
Absolutely.
guy's a muppet.
I would like to change part of his surname and replace the D with a T in there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Andrew says, Tony's already in Wembley. You're sitting there another 24 days, Tony. We'll send you a takeaway. Yeah. Andrew says, Cundy is irrelevant. Absolutely. He says, good old shit lips, Cundy.
You can take his hand for a shite. Take his hand for a shite.
Or as Paul would say, go and take your face for a shit, mate. I mean, guys, we're coming to the end of the show, but, before we go, Pete, would you like to tell everybody where they can find you?
Absolutely, they can do. Yes, so my channel is PD Proudlock. I've had the preview out for the West Ham game for Saturday. Tomorrow, I'll be back with that bonker show, PD's Football Live Show. So feel free to get yourselves on, and we'll definitely talk about game from Tuesday going into West Ham as well. Of course, you know what happens when there's an hour of the show as well. Those good old food picks, which I'm getting those prepared for tomorrow as well. So, as I said, get yourselves on as well. Definitely, and in terms of YouTube, PD Prologue, feel free to subscribe if you haven't already done so. And social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, PD Prologue as well. So feel free to follow me on there.
Thanks very much, Pete. Before I get to John, Gareth says, Cundy's like most talk sport hosts are bellends. Absolutely, Gareth, 100%.
Exactly.
Andrew says, thanks, lads, good stuff. And Gareth says, thank you all. John, where can people find you?
Thanks for having us on, Tony. And I'm doing another bit
problem.
show. And if you go on to Facebook, go on TikTok, and you go on to YouTube and Facebook, like I said, it's John Sinclair TV. If you go on to Insta, John Sinclair 50. And if you go on to Twitter, it's John_NUFC 42. And I do previews, reviews, watch-alongs, and also do player ratings and breaking news, latest news. And if you're new and you have not, if you like what you see on my channel, hit the like, subscribe button as well. And do your stuff, really, guys. And thank you.
Yeah, thanks, John. Alan says, bit of context for Cundy, it's because he fears the tune and a win would be the start, and he said it. Well, you better believe it, because it is a start, Alan. Absolutely, mate.
Correct.
Yeah, guys, well, obviously, you can find me on here. Coming up, so tomorrow I'll probably have a preview for the game against West Ham United on Saturday. So keep an eye out for the flyers for that. The thumbnails coming out for that. One I've got for Saturday, I've got a build-up show on Saturday. That will be at around 3:30. So we look ahead to the game and also look at results going on in the Premier League at that time. That show's already up on YouTube with that thumbnail there. Flash Gordon, build-up live. Yep, so that's the thumbnail for Saturday's build-up, guys. So keep an eye out for that one. Like I say, that's a 3:30 start on Saturday afternoon. I think Pete loves that picture, don't you, Pete?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's funny.
But yeah, guys, you can find me on here. You can also find me on Twitter at TonyTooney31. So give me a follow and I will follow you back. No problem at all. As long as it's not in the middle of the night, because I'll be asleep in bed and I can't do it physically then, but you'll have to wait the next morning. Also, if you like what you see, then please smash those like buttons. It really does help the channel up the search results and makes people find the channel a lot more easily as well. Also, if you are brand new to the channel, then please hit the subscribe button. That is free to do so. It helps the channel grow. Bell notification tells you when I'm live, have a pre-record, or any upcoming shows. I'm now on to 346 subscribers, so I'm 4 away now from 350. So on the way to the 350.
Thanks, Tony.
So thank you again, guys. Thank you very much indeed. But yeah, I mean, we just have to say 12 months. What this man's done in 12 months is nothing short of a miracle, because that's what it is. It's a miracle. And this time last year, we were out of the Carabao Cup. We were out of the FA Cup. We were third bottom in the Premier League, waiting to face Everton. But now We are sitting third in the Premier League. We are in the Carabao Cup final. Yes, Carabao Cup final at Wembley on the 26th of February, exactly a week after my birthday. But we're out the FA Cup, getting to League One opposition. But we don't care being out the FA Cup, to be fair, because it's one less competition to worry about this season. So, yeah, guys, could be worse. You could be Jurgen Klopp. You know, you not only out the Carabao Cup and not only languishing at 8th place in the Premier League, but then, you know, go to the Amex, and what happens? Brighton beat them yet again, you know. And that meant after that game, the Liverpool fans were flocking the travel agents because you can't beat Brighton at this time of the year.
and Jurgen Klopp had to go down the Brighton beach to find another bit of seaweed to clean his teeth again.
Exactly.
Well, I've heard on the news he might be needed in Dover because they're having trouble with the lighthouse, so they might need him to smelt to guide the ships in.
Oh, man.
Oh, God.
So, yeah, so Klopp might be needed to help guide the ships, and he might be the second lighthouse. I mean, before we go, guys, actually, I just want to ask your question on this because I'm just wondering about this as well. And guys in the chat can quickly have your say, but us and Fulham were linked with this guy, Sander Burge. It came out on Sunday from Craig Hope that we were looking at him. Eventually, us and Fulham pulled out of the deal. Now, to me, it sounds strange. Why us not only pulled out the deal, but also Fulham? So is there a question mark over this guy? I don't know what it is, but I mean, I'll come to you first, John. I mean, any reason why you think not just us pulling out, but Fulham pulling out as well? What do you think the reason is, John?
Well, could it be the fee, 22 million quid, or the money back? Could it be that? Or does the player wants to stay at Sheffield United and help them get promoted? That is the thing. So, again, we don't know what's going on. Why we pulled out is because you don't want to pay the money. Could it be that? It's a two-way street. It's either you don't want to pay the money because you may not be worth that, or does the lad want to stay at Sheffield United to help them get them back in the Premier League? And also, Napoli wanted him as well. I don't know what happened to that.
Or has he got attitude issues, John? That's the thing as well.
It could be. Again, no one knows. But, you know, these clubs don't tell us a thing. They don't tell us now. You know what I mean? Whether the club's been turned down, etc. They don't tell us a thing. They really don't. But you need to ask Sheffield United. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, Pete, what about you? What do you think about that, the way we pulled out in Fulham?
Yeah, I'm either the player wants to stay there or the manager actually does want to keep him overall to help Sheffield United get themselves back into the Premier League. So, yeah, I think it's one of them two reasons why the deal was pulled out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Thanks very much for that, guys. But I just thought I'd just throw that one in last minute because I just found it strange. And obviously, quickly before we go, I mean, I'll come to you first, Pete. Are you disappointed we didn't bring a midfielder in on transfer deadline day?
I am a bit, because we could have done with that, particularly with Shelby going, and now we've got Bruno suspended as well. But in a way, no, because but also look at how we've done within the side as well. When with what we've been using as well, so you could say it in a way as well. So kind of half and half with it, really, to be honest. It's more and more staggering because it would have been good to have some backup as well. And we've now sold one, and one's out through suspension. So I'm a bit half and half on it.
Yeah. And you, John?
I've always said that if you're going to get rid of a player, then you have to get someone to replace, sort of thing. Maybe it's too early to judge PIF on that occasion, but at the end of the day, they'll learn on the job. They definitely have to learn on the job. But at the same time, Eddie Howe must have known that Shelby's going to go, Wood's going to go. They should have been replaced. And this is why I think Eddie Howe should be made manager, not head coach. Should be promoted to manager. He can make decisions as well. And could it be we try to get Matthias Vansa, right, for 20 mil, but Flamengo said no. They wanted a bit more money because of the stupid release clause as well, sell-on clause as well, which I think is ridiculous. Asking 50% for future sales. How weird, man. That ain't going to happen, man. It's never going to happen anytime soon. But we could have got players coming, even on loan, but I think it might be a bit tough, guys. It might be a bit tough. So it looks like you're going to have to wait till the summer. And hopefully you get this new sponsorship on our shirts as well. And as for Castori, it's a 6-year deal. It's a 6-year contract. Can we still get a VAT as well?
Well, we could. There's an opportunity to end that. To say, right, we're ending the deal. People have complained a lot this season about size fittings. They've had to send them back when they might fit in one ship, but they can't fit in the other. Also, the deliveries has been absolutely scandalous as well. People have waited weeks for deliveries to arrive. And I'm sorry, but that's not on as well, having to wait so many weeks when it's definitely out in the club shops as well. So,
I mean, I ordered on pre-order day, and I mean, I didn't get mine, and it was out in the shops. And I was really annoyed because I thought, well, hang on, I've paid for this on pre-order day, and no disrespect, but you think the people who have pre-ordered would be first choice, wouldn't you, to get them first before everybody else?
Yep.
But yeah, I would do the same if I think the club will pull out of the contract, and I think they'll have to agree to it, Castor, as well.
Absolutely.
What we'll find out, won't we, in due course, I should imagine. But they'll probably want to get the final out of the way first, and then we'll find out what happens after that. But yeah, guys, thank you for watching tonight, and take care. And I'll catch you backstage. But for now, we'll see you later, and have a good evening, whatever you're doing. Bye bye for now, guys. Bye bye.
Bye bye.